Hey friends, if you're looking for quick tips to help you jumpstart your week, you are in the right place. I'm Lori Palau, host of the popular weekly podcast Organized Life, founder of Simply Be Organized, and every Monday I am here to bring you a quick organizing tip in under 15 minutes. All you have to do is click the subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening, and let's get started. Hey guys, happy Monday. Lori here with another tip of the week. And today we're going to talk about something that I've been kind of working on and thinking about for a while. And it is, how can we communicate better to express how clutter makes us feel? And communication is really at the crux for so many of us of where we kind of get bottlenecked with our clutter and organizing journey. Again, we have a picture in our mind of what an organized space looks like, what clutter really means. I'm air quoting. For some people, it could be like one thing out of place and they feel like their whole space is cluttered. And other people can walk into a room that's in complete disarray and be like, I know where everything is. It's not a big deal. So, really being very specific and communicating is what I think is so important. And I think for so many of us, it's the missing link to why we continue in this cycle of clutter and disorganization where we get organized and then we fall right back into our old habits. So it's a combination of putting together the practical strategies of how do I declutter? How do I get organized? Like creating those systems, but it's also that communication piece. And this is so important, especially if you live with other people, whether you're living with your parents, whether you're living with a spouse or a significant other, and certainly with your kids. Because again, what we view with the lens in which we see the world of something is cluttered, something is disorganized, and how that impacts us is unique to us. And that I've learned through practical experience working one on one with clients and also through all of my research studying the Enneagram and the impact of what our personality types are in how we relate and navigate clutter. So I've started playing around with a couple of different kind of just different like phrases and language about how can we begin to articulate what that looks like. And my newest thing that I'm piloting right here on our tip of the week is what I'm calling the 5 phases of a clutter spiral, right? Your clutter spiral. And those phases, and you may experience all of them or some of them if this is something that is impacts your life. So they are anxiety, frustration, anger, resentment, and shame. So they don't necessarily have to go linear in that pattern. It's not like the stages of grief, but it is, they are common emotions that people go through. And I've always said from the get go that clutter is really more emotional than it is physical. We see and judge and talk about the physical because it's right there and it's tangible. But so much of our clutter struggles have to do with that emotional internal feeling of how does this make me feel? And so if we don't have language for that, it winds up coming out in one of those 5 areas: anxiety, frustration, anger, resentment, or shame. So I created this quick little free opt-in for all of you guys that you can, it's just a quick download, and it allows us to sit down and articulate how, two things. It's got two parts. How clutter makes us feel, and it's got like I think 27 to 30 different prompts, if you will, of everything from stressed, anxious, angry, overwhelmed, mad, out of control, depressed, hopeless. The list goes on and on of how it makes us feel. Because a lot of times you're like, I don't know, but this is giving you some, it's peppering you with options to say, yes, that is, I haven't been able to name it, but this is how I feel. And then the second part is, how do I want my home to feel? And you could substitute your home for your calendar or whatever, if you're struggling more with if you're struggling more with calendar clutter, talk about that. If you're struggling with digital clutter, you could say, how do I want my computer, my inbox, my phone to look, to feel. But what I just, for this exercise, we put, how do I want my home to feel? And again, there's several prompts, things like calm, peaceful, relaxed, tranquil, welcoming, um, easygoing, inviting, spacious, all of these different adjectives that describe, again, how we want to feel. And then once you've identified that, you can then retrofit it and work backwards and go, okay, so in order for my house to feel this way, what do I need to do? What do I need to change? So if I want my home to feel light, open, and airy, and I know that the present reality is that I've got stuff all over the place, those two things are not in alignment. So what needs to happen? I need to then make those changes. So if you're coming back to, always come back to how you want it to feel. That's really essentially the goal. What is it that we want? What is this emotion? Because a lot of times we get so focused in on what we think we want, like I want the shiny car or I want this, but it's really more about I want to feel important. I want to feel established. I want to feel this. I want to feel that. So if we can start attaching words and language to how we want to feel, we can then go backwards and say, what steps do we need to take to get there? And what is not in alignment? So I'm going to drop that link in the show notes. Again, just to go over it, I'm playing around with it. So if you guys have a better idea or like a cute acronym or name, feel free to shoot us a DM or put it in the comments. But right now I'm calling it the 5 phases of the clutter spiral. Again, they're anxiety, frustration, anger, resentment, and shame. And we go through one or more of these if clutter is something that is weighing us down. And that could be physical clutter. It could be emotional clutter. It could be the mental load of things. It could also be calendar clutter, being overscheduled. So if you are struggling with any of these areas, definitely grab this free download. It is going to be in the show notes. It's also going to be on the website, simplybeorganized.com. And let me know what you think. All right, guys, until next week, I am Lori Palau. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, please spread the love and share it with your friends. And if this is your first time joining us, make sure to click the subscribe button wherever you are listening so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, please leave us a review so other people know that our show is worth the listen. You can also find us on YouTube and Instagram at This Organized Life Podcast. And if you'd like to connect with us, you can head on over to our website at simply the letter B like boy organized.com, which is filled with tons of resources, including free downloads, checklists, links to our amazing organizing partners, and all of our digital offerings. I'll see you next week for another episode of This Organized Life.